Ebola is a dreadful killer disease that has claimed thousands of lives in West African countries. To protect its citizens and prevent this disease from entering its premises, the government of Rwanda has prepared a number of measures in the event that a person infected with Ebola travels to Rwanda, establishing a national isolation center at Rwanda Military Hospital near the Kigali International Airport, training health workers and airport staffs in dealing with Ebola, establishing a toll-free hotline 1110 that provides advice and information on Ebola. In addition to all those measures, a simulation exercise was conducted by Rwanda Defense Force and Rwanda National Police on November 22, 2014 to evaluate the country's readiness to handle the outbreak.
The aim is to ensure that the public is defended against the Ebola threat. The 7 rapid reaction teams will have the capacity to intervene and contain any outbreak anywhere in the country. They will also be ready to support any affected countries should we be required to do so.
Launched by the Minister of Health, the exercise was conducted in 3 different locations. That is, Kigali International Airport, Rwanda Military Hospital where a biotreatment facility was established, and at Remember facility established as a quarantine facility.
Everything we do, we prepare, quarantine sites, a type of lab we want to procure, etc. is for this and beyond, sustainability and diversity.
A command post was established to direct and monitor the integrated inter-agency exercise. On the launch day, this was attended by various institutions and stakeholders. The exercise director made a presentation on the highlights of the exercise and the scenario.
National Ebola preparedness comes at a time when we have an epidemic, actually a global epidemic of Ebola, with the epicenter around Western Africa. Rwanda, like many other countries, has been preparing just to make sure that in case we have an outbreak, we are able to contain the threat. So this exercise is an effort that demonstrates the capabilities of the health professionals, of the various intergovernment agencies that are responsible for handling such an outbreak if it came up.
Rwanda Air 411, squawk 2667. Rwanda Air 411, runway 31 left, Bravo 10, clear for takeoff. Rwanda Air 411, contact Seattle departure. You have a great day. Traffic heading left, assessment of
At 10 hours local time, a Rwanda Air flight from Archipelago country reports to the Kigali Control Tower to have on board an RDF peacekeeping soldier with fever. At 11 hours, the pilot reports the soldier is vomiting and that their nose is bleeding. At 12:30 hours, the plane lands at Kigali International Airport and the evacuation team is in place to handle the patient and other passengers according to protocols. The patient was taken out of the plane in an exit different from other passengers to avoid more infection. Ambulances were ready to transport the patient to the treatment facility at Rwanda Military Hospital, and the remaining of passengers were screened for possible fever, being taken to a quarantine facility at Remember. At the treatment facility, the patient received necessary care he needed.
We assess his status. If we do have fever, we do give antipyretic drugs like paracetamol and so on. The patient, if he's vomiting or he's having diarrhea, he's dehydrated, we do provide the IV fluids to compensate the loss of fluids. And if the patient do have any other symptoms, because the treatment basically it is symptomatic.
Unfortunately, the patient died of Ebola disease and was buried at the treatment facility, where a burial place for Ebola patient has been prepared.
We do process by a safe burial, which we do have to perform, where we decontaminate the body and we put it in a body bag, which is prepared specific for the Ebola patients. And then we decontaminate also. We use also if necessary, depending to the culture of the society, we may use coffin or other, which is probably the family would like to be used for the funeral of their relative. But at each step we do have to decontaminate. We ensure that the burial is in a probable safe condition, which will not allow the contamination of the viruses to other person, because the dead body is one of the highly contagious material for other persons. But also within the treatment facility, we do often also use the decontamination process, the disinfection, because all things which belong to the patient or the area itself, it is a high-risk area which deserve a continuous disinfection, cleaning, decontamination, so that we maintain it as safe as possible.
All the passengers from the plane were taken at Tremerambogo, where a quarantine facility was established. At the quarantine facility, passengers are monitored for possible Ebola symptoms and counseled by psychologists so they don't feel frustrated.
So we do check daily fever, and anyone who manifests fever, he is transferred to the isolation facility to be treated also, while others still are being on continuous monitoring until, of course, 21 days.
The main objective of the drill was to test the capabilities of response teams in handling a person arriving at Kigali International Airport suspected of having Ebola. The exercise trains and provides a rehearsal for health workers on the professional handling and management of Ebola patients. It allowed them to quickly identify available resources and practice effective communications among the response teams. The exercise also gave defense and police staff the opportunity to rehearse the use of personal protective equipment, the disinfection process, and the burial of a victim of Ebola.
In terms of the debrief, this was a well-done exercise. It showed the capabilities of Rwanda in terms of being able to handle any case of Ebola coming on our soil. It showed excellent communication and cooperation between all the agencies involved. And here we're talking of an integrated framework of exercise: Rwanda Immigration, Rwanda Police, Rwanda Defense Force, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Disaster Management. All those did excellent cooperation and coordination. And we also saw that actually we have the professionals well equipped with the protocols and management methods for the Ebola case. We also saw through the exercise that we have a very well designated quarantine area that is able to keep our passengers or clients for at least 21 days to make sure they protect themselves and the public. Of course, in the debrief, we saw that one of our weaknesses was lack of realism. Realism in the sense of speed. It looked like the role players precisely knew what they were going to do, but didn't put realism. The element of speed was lacking in the whole exercise scenario. And this is something that we shall correct in subsequent activities.
The 7 teams that we are going to have for rapid deployment in Rwanda, with a little bit more training, are going to be very efficient. We can say that we believe that Rwandans are protected and themselves are going to correct those little things to be themselves protected and protect the people at work.
The race is on to stop the deadly disease that kills more than half of those it infects.